Yeah, you bastard. Welcome back. Once again, it's time for the Super Sully Sunday stream. That's right. Say that 3 times fast. Super Sully Sunday stream. Super Sully Sunday stream. Super Sully Sunday stream. I'm enthused. Where is this energy coming from? These good times. Slancha. I cheers to you. I'm so grateful and blessed that we have an audience for this little show of ours. And I want to thank one of our wrenches and one of our dear friends to the show, AL. You notice that Pikachu, my executive producer, has an accoutrement. I would bring him a little closer. I don't know how to zoom. I don't even think that it could. Probably does know how to zoom. I'm a fucking boomer. Oh no, you just lost your monetization by the ookie and the pookie. Oh, that's Neil Gaiman talk, right? Wow, do we have something to say about him? We also have to talk about Diamond's bankruptcy, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. What does that mean? Where are we going with this? We got new comic book reviews. We have the return of Pikachu's show notes. Pika is very happy. Look at that smile. He's got his clipboard back. I gave it back to him. I've had a big day. Oh, hey, James. Good to see you. All is well. And I was just about to say, I'm like 93%. I spent the entire morning with one of my best friends from high school. Thank you very much, MC. Just to keep his, dignity and anonymity out here on the interwebs. But you might know MC from the chats and the comments. He's one of my best friends from high school, and he made 3 trips with me. And it's about to snow too. So it was beautiful morning. We started about 8:30 a.m. We made 3 trips between Medford and Quincy, Massachusetts, loading and unloading his SUV. And I'm just so blessed and grateful that I had help. And that I felt like my mom who passed away, this is my mom's condo, and I've inherited it. I'm moving in. So that she talked to the big guy and blessed us with great weather and blessed me with good friends and great family and help when I needed it. And I asked for it. I asked for help. Mario mentioned that, hey, I got this weekend open, let me know if you need help. And I'm like, dude, I need help. I think I have enough stuff for 1 more car trip, but he's got a life and I'm just so he squeezed in 1 extra trip. I got him. I committed him to 2 trips and cheers, Mario. Thank you, my brother. This light's for you. Speaking of lights, you notice that the lava lamp in the background? I turned her on an hour ago, and now she's starting to drip. Where do I come up with this shit? It's all the Savage Dragon I'm reading, but not this week. We're also going to play What's in the Bag. What did I buy from my local comic book shop this week? We have got lots of Marvel comics to talk about. Let's pull up the up to pull. Let's pull on up to this. Don't say pull on up to other comic book fans and creators. They might take you seriously and at your word that you might want to, have a brouhaha, fisticuffs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I read 15 different Marvel books this week. I bought 1 or 2. Bought 1. I got 1 Marvel and I bought 1. But I'm blessed and grateful to be in a creator culture where and I also read a bunch of indies last week too. But let's get to it. Let's what's on the docket? Let's talk about it. What are we talking about? Hello, AL. How are you? I was just talking about you. Were your ears ringing? It's starting to snow here in New York. It is starting to snow here and here. Oh, hello. So non-pound. Is that how I say your name? 5 people watching. Yes, that's great. That's actually really good for our little channel. We have, we're a growing channel. We're blessed and grateful to I'm on Wes's Thinking Critical on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern. Times may differ for where you are out in the big world. But yeah, I was saying that AL sent us a gift from Japan. Strictly, and you know what? This is, I believe this is Pikachu's gift because, you know, AL, you know, lost her beloved Pikachus, you know, and she replaced them from the freshest Pikachu she could find in Japan, where they're born, where they're created. Hey, Mo, what is up? Salam and good day to you. He's coming to us live from Saudi Arabia, halfway across the world from here, from our Boston studios, which is Boston, Massachusetts, North America, United States of America, planet Earth, solar system, third rock from the sun in that solar system, outer spiral arm, Milky Way galaxy, local group, Laniakea, Virgo cluster, Laniakea super cluster, known universe. Anthony Hopkins is here. Indeed. Yeah, I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Fly, 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 little starling. Fly, fly, fly. What did he say to you? Malta and Miggs in the next cell. What did he say to you when you came in? He said, I can smell your feet. I was going to say the real quote, but I didn't want to go there. Your anagrams are showing, Dr. Lecter. Miss the rest of me. Miss Hester Moffat, miss the rest of me. A head floating in a jar. So yeah, I was moving stuff into my condo all morning. It's my entire living room is just full of crates and boxes. It's just, I'll get to it. I'm done for today. I got tomorrow off. Martin Luther King Day. What else is going on tomorrow? Something indoors, because the weather is just so foul and it's what is this bag that the Pikachu's wearing? Well, he's got a couple of pins. This is a swatch pin that I had back in the late 80s. It was on my denim jacket. This is something I got earlier as a kid from in one of the St. Patty's Day parades. It says Southie is my hometown. But this AL sent from Tokyo, from the Tokyo Tower. I mean, it's just like, I didn't know what was in the bag. It was none of my business. It's Pikachu's. It's Pikachu's bag. It accessorizes well with a Pikachu. You know, both are gold and shiny and electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. And Pikachu's really psyched. He got his clipboard back. He's just, you know, he's looking forward to filling up these pages with endless things for me to just ramble on about. I am just the talent. Okay. We've also, I'm sorry, there have been some firings. We had to fire a few of our staff. Some cutbacks, you know, we have to do less with more. We have to do more with less in a way. I mean, I usually have two monitors and one of my monitors is dead. I might be boomering it right now. Hello. It's probably the cord for all I know. Hello, Dwayne Muth. How are you? Good to see you. What is up? It's a tail. It's a talisman for good fortune and making money. Ha ha. Money, 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 money. I like money. You know, it's like, you know, you ask for, you know, the guru wants to build an ashram for his bhikkhus and to meditate. And the bhikkhus, the students, the sangha, you know, the community ask, Guru, where do you intend to get this money to build the ashram that you wish? And he said, you know, where is this money? And the guru says, wherever it is right now, it'll come to us. We must just apply your attention. Yeah. You little bastard. I'm so mad at you. I really am. We were fighting before the camera turned on. I mean, he unpacked a bit of the bathroom. I stepped on the scale and he made fun of me because I've gained a few pounds and I don't want to hear that. No, thank you. AL was in Japan for Christmas time. Do they know it's Christmas time? It's annual gift giving day, and Santa lives on the moon. That's what John Waters said in a Simpsons episode. Oof! I just burped because I hadn't eaten all day. Actually, I ate at 6 this morning. I had my leftovers from the pub last night, like half of a Reuben sandwich. You know, that's what you want for breakfast: sauerkraut, Thousand Island dressing, Swiss cheese, and house-made corned beef on rye bread. Isn't that true? This goes so well with your coffee. But it was breakfast. I don't care. You know, it's tough. You know, I have a system. I've done it before. It's about, if there's two parts of it. There are two parts of it. There's losing weight, and then there's also toning up and gaining muscle mass. They're two different things. And, you know, you do need to have an input of proteins and fats in order to help you. There's a whole thing about muscle mass, but to lose a few pounds, it's a simple, you know, matter of making sacrifices, making an agreement to suffer, understanding that you're an adult human being. You don't need more than 1,800 calories a day in order to survive. When you do that and deprive your body of sugar, carbs, breads, pastas, you know, even the fructose in fruit, you got to cut it all off and let your body attack your belly fat, which is storing potential energy. And when the belly fat's gone, you'll start to see muscle mass underneath that. It happened to me once. Ramadan is coming after 40 days from now, so hopefully that will help you. You darn tootin' it will. I'm a spiritual guy of international faith. I feel that all faiths hold a piece of the puzzle that make the complete picture, that not just one faith can tell the whole story. You know, I think it's pretty darn, it would be pretty darn evil and selfish of God to say that only Roman Catholics get into heaven. I mean, over history, there's been about 180 billion people on planet Earth. All of, you know, up until now. I read that in some website somewhere. It was called The Number of the Dead. You know, we have 8 billion people on planet Earth right now, but how many people have been on this planet? It was about 180 billion from before recorded time, you know. I'm making wontons with my daughter. I only have my pinky clean to type. Chinese New Year is coming. I expect to gain weight. LOL. Yeah, yeah. I am too. I have a sweet tooth, and it's, you know, it's hard, but it's about a sacrifice. A sacrifice is, you know, cutting off one thing to make room for something else. You know, but say I'm a spiritual guy. I really like to respect all faiths, so I took part of fasting, a certain part of fasting in Ramadan about 18 years ago. I gave up cigarette smoking. I said that the first 40 days were between me and God. After that was between me and me. And that I have not had a cigarette since. I was more than a pack a day smoker for 13 years. And I stopped. And it wasn't easy, but I had willpower. Like the Green Lanterns. We'll be talking more about Green Lanterns and what's in the bag. You got that right. I go to my local comic book shop, my LCS, my local comic book shop, about once a week. Every week. Well, sometimes we skip a week. You know, 49 weeks out of 52, that's pretty darn good, especially if you're spending money at your local comic book shop. I got a pull list. I get my supplies there. I get my bags, my boards, and my boxes. I buy them at the brick and mortar local comic book shop. I could be getting a discount if I bought in bulk, or, you know, got it off of Amazon with the free shipping and everything. But how does that help keep my local comic book shop open and healthy? No, I think it's very important that we get our asses out of our seats and move our feet and go to our local comic book shop and spend some time there, but spend some money. You know, my average spend a week is probably about 15. I think it's probably, let's say it's $17.73. Why? I don't know. I don't have any evidence to support my claim. I'm just guessing because of all the receipts I see, you know. Hey there, Lane Kramer, ladies and gentlemen, as he lives and breathes. How you doing? Good to see you. It's good to see everyone out there in the chat today. We're going to talk about Neil Gaiman. What would you like to know about him? We're like really tight? No, we're not. I don't want to talk about Neil Gaiman. I just wanted the clickbait. You know, and I'm saying hi to my stepdad, putting a little heart on his last text to me. We're, you know, I love you. That's that's it. And nothing in there. It was a big echo. Echo. Oh boy, I need to find Jim Zub's Twitter and share with you. Oh, yeah, that's right. David Lynch passed away at 78 years old. He would have been 79 tomorrow. So at noon Pacific time, so it's going to be 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. There's going to be a 10-minute group meditation. I want to share this tab instead. Yeah, this is David. This is from David Lynch's official account, which I follow. And it's his kids. David Lynch, our beloved dad, was a guiding light of creativity, love, and peace. On Monday, January 20th, what would have been his 79th birthday, we invite you all to join us in a worldwide group meditation at 12 p.m. noon Pacific Standard Time for 10 minutes. Let us come together wherever we are to honor his legacy by spreading peace and love across the world. Please take this time to meditate, reflect, and to send positivity into the universe. Thank you for being a celebration. Thank you for being part of this celebration of his life. Love, Jennifer, Austin, Riley, and Lula Lynch. Yep. I would like to get that sticker for one of my windows. That would be nice. Ain't that cool? Hey, Fear Monarch. How you doing? Good to see you. Oh, Daddy Lynch for years. Oh, ain't that cool? I'm a big fan of David Lynch. I'm a big fan of his Dune. I thought it was impressive. He wasn't a fan of Dune. He didn't read the book when he was young. He was given a project as a director, and he read the book twice, and he wrote the screenplay. He wrote his Dune and his unique vision. And here's the rub. He was given the opportunity to say yes or no. He declined. George Lucas on Episode 6, Revenge of the Jedi. Before it was renamed Return of the Jedi. So, you know, just think of that. Let your mind just go. Wander. Star Wars fans, imagine if there was a David Lynch movie. But no, instead he went with Dino De Laurentiis' production company because he was given 3 movies in that package deal. What was the next movie? He did 2 big movies before Dune. He did Eraserhead and The Elephant Man. So he was like this up and coming young star, young director in the early 80s. Then came Dune, but also what came after Dune? Blue Velvet. And Blue Velvet was this indie darling, and it put him, and then the world knew who David Lynch was. Yeah, I just Twin Peaks came, and that was a cultural phenomenon. I watched Twin Peaks relatively recently, in the past 4 or 5 years, probably during lockdown. And I have not seen the last season yet, so I'm looking forward to that. So Twin Peaks is an interesting show. It's really just a soap opera. It's basically mirrored. There's a dual layer, of course, because it's David Lynch, but there's always a soap opera that's going on in the background that was made for the show. It's not a real soap opera, but it kind of echoes what's going on in front of the TV while it's playing in the background. So you have all these soapy relationships and soapy resolutions. It was very soapy. It was, and people don't pick up on that. People think it's this intriguing meta narrative of an artistic expression and the idiom of a budding master. And when intrinsically, it's a soap opera, and it's a parody of soap operas. And that's probably why it stuck so well, especially at ABC. They had, not just the daytime soaps, but they had nighttime soaps as well. ABC had Dynasty. CBS had Falcon Crest and Knots Landing. These big shows, dramas. Women like them, My mom did. I watched a shitload of that. Van Davis, hello. How are you? Welcome. I never watched Twin Peaks because I saw Fire Walk with Me first. I love the movie, but since I knew what happened to Laura in the series wasn't as nuts as the movie, I couldn't get into it. I would suggest now give it a second chance, especially with the 3rd season. I'll see you in 25 years. Is that what Laura says? I said there's something like that. But it's exactly what happened. David Lynch returns to Twin Peaks. And it's also one of the last performances by Ferrera. Roger Ferrera, not Twin Peaks. No, Twin Peaks cast. Wow, that was 2017 when that came out. Show more. Why are you down here? So where is he? Yeah, Miguel Ferreira. Yeah, and who was a really good drummer, by the way. He would hang out with Van Halen. I mean, seriously, yeah. Interesting. Let's get into that. Oh boy, Batman and Robin. Yeah, that's a no-no. Well, you can enjoy it if you'd like. You can buy it if you'd like. No one's telling you not to buy it. Ooh, the lettering would be interesting. Now, it's interesting because Arabic reads from as the margin on the right to left, correct? And so, do you flip the pages like manga style, or does that matter? I betcha. There's a lot of dirty stuff in that. Thank you. Yeah, I almost got some Arabic. Speaking of Dune, you can see the Arabic influences in Dune, especially through the Fremen. And that was on purpose. That was Frank Herbert. And it was Hark al-Ada, and it means the breaker of the habit. And I had my friend Momadi from Morocco. I asked him, it's like, is this a real Arabic word? He's like, yeah, it's a very powerful phrase. It means breaking of the habit. And I know this from Dune, from Children of Dune. At the end of Children of Dune, Faradin Carino betrays his mother and sides with the Atreides. He is given Ganamia as his wife, and he's given a new name by the worm god emperor Leto II. Faradin is now known as Hark al-Ada. And I got it written in Arabic. I wanted to get it, a nice calligraphy, and I was going to get it like right here. It's this oblique Dune reference, and some cool looking ink too, kind of like David Beckham. They do that here too sometimes. They do. But thank you, AL. Pikachu loves his bag, and I love it too. I would pull him closer, but he's a stuffed animal for real. For realsies, he's a stuffed animal. This is just a bit. I talk to my stuffed animal because it's fun, and he's got several safety pins keeping him up. Sully, what did you think of Ultimate Wolverine #1? Everyone at Comics Aficionados seemed to crap on it, especially Super Saiyan Comic Smasher Jim. Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that. We have 15 Marvel comic books to review that we do, and I got some beer because I deserve it. I've been busy all day long. I just ate the last of my American chop suey. I made a big bowl of it earlier in the week, and I've been eating it all week. And it's great because American chop suey is also known as Hungarian goulash. Pasta, tomatoes, ground beef, peppers and onions, savory, lots of garlic, paprika. And so my stepdad calls it hunji gunji. I had never heard that before, but I immediately recognized the word etymology to Hungarian goulash from hunji gunji. Can you see it? You smell it? You feel it? Are you with me? So it's something I have always called American chop suey. I've been calling hunji gunji for months now because that's what my stepdad calls it in his family. And let's see. Oh boy. No, I do it too. I mean, Mo says I'm not trying to punish anyone, but Mark Wade really is someone you don't want to indulge or put money in his pocket. I'm like, why don't you let's give Mark Wade should be doing what Richard C. Meyer is doing and what Ethan Van Sciver is doing and see if he can make it. I bet you he could because he wrote Irredeemable and he wrote, he's got some fucking Empire. He owns Empire, I think. Empire was Mark Wade, and he did this with Barry Kitson, and it's set in its own world. It's not DC. DC published it, but it's got nothing to do with DC Universe. It's about the daughter of the Emperor of the world, and it was the bad guy took over. There was this great reveal at the end too. I wouldn't want to spoil it for you if you can find it. A copy of it, Empire. It was supposed to be a little smutty and a little bit risque, a little adult. But Mark Wade, he's got stories in him. He's a great storyteller. But do I want to spend my money on him anymore? Because he's such an asshole. I mean, I already have my asshole quotient filled, and I mean that nicely too. Ethan Van Sciver, I love the guy. He's my internet friend. Okay, he knows who I am. I know who he is. I but I know it's at least I know Ethan has a kayfabe, and some of it he makes me cringe like a motherfucker, but I have a good sense of what's up and who's who. I mean, it's the chat is more troublesome than the host. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's easy to. It's like this is like the Opie and Anthony fans, the old Howard Stern fans. It's sports radio, meets wrestling kayfabe, and I know, he harps on Eric July a lot, but Eric July literally did send him that night letter text about you with me or against me kind of thing, and I'm like, and that maybe triggered him. Maybe triggered Ethan. Because that's the same thing that happened over at DC Comics. You know what I mean? It's like you either gotta stop supporting Richard C. Meyer and be quiet about your beliefs, or else there are going to be consequences. And I mean, geez, that would have set me off too. And Ethan's been on a holy crusade to be enemy number one, public enemy number one to the Rippaverse. And I don't know, has anyone in the chat read any Rippa comic books, and would you suggest them to anyone? I value good art. I don't mind crowdfunding, things. I don't. But I've seen some of the art of Isom and Yaira, and none of it just resonates with me. My good friend Thomas Gilkey, the Gilk man, I hope he's watching. If so, hey Thomas, how you doing, buddy? He's a Rippaverse fan. I'm hoping like he'll let me next time we hang out. I'm gonna be like, dude, Thomas, bring your Isom. I can read it real quick. I just want to look at it. I want to see the quality of it. I want to look at the binding. You know what I mean? I want to look at the indicia. Feel the pages. AL has read most of Rippa. Are you pleased? Are you looking forward to Yaira number 2 and Bloodruth? And wow. Did you have to have extra shipping involved? Here we go. That's a good thing. Frank Miller has said some pretty disrespectful things about Muslims, but I still enjoy his work. That's a great way to come at it too. Thanks, Mo. I mean, because he's self-professed. He was like, 9/11 traumatized me. I was living in New York in the Lower East Side at the time. It's just like that. That happened to my life. Me and Lynn were living. We were trying to finish up. Dark Knight 2. And that happened. Yeah. Wade wrote Kingdom Come from Alex's rough outline and pulled it all together. Yeah. I mean, I would never deny Mark Wade has written some of my all-time favorite Flash books. I love Flash comic books. And I mean, freaking Dead Heat is literally my favorite Flash story. And that's Mark Wade. And it's a Wally story. And it's about Wally coming to grips that he is the best. He is the number one Flash. He is the fastest man on Earth. A lot of Wally's journey had to do with his guilt about eclipsing Barry, who wasn't there anymore, who was spending some time dead. And but that Wally knew he could beat Barry. He's so much faster than Barry, and he had to own that. And that was that was part of his character arc. And Mark Wade had a lot to do with that, man. I really, that's me too. Yeah. I just, I only have so much room. I only have, so much space. And I didn't and none of the art really resonated with me. But talking about art, so let's talk about Neil Gaiman for a second. I don't want to talk about it too long. I do think he'll get the pass. I think this will be swept under the rug. This is all you're going to hear about it is just what happened is last week. It's not going any further. This is going to get squashed. And it's really interesting because you didn't hear the squeaky wheels of comics and comics news and comics culture and of comics social media. Your Heidi McDonald's, your Rich Johnsons, your what I mean, your Heather Antoses, your Megs Visagios, all the people on Richard C. Meyer's hit list. None of these people said anything about Neil Gaiman. The same people that where was Alex? Did Alex DeCampi say anything? And what does Alex DeCampi have to say about Neil Gaiman? We know what she said about Bisker, and that was before he self-deleted. Let's see. AL has a capsule review for us of the Rippaverse. Isom 1 needs better editing. Isom 2 is better. Alpha Core is much better, and that's written by Chuck Dixon. Yeah, or is that Mike Barron's book? Mike Barron's book? No. Mike Barron's book is Horseman. So this is the Chuck Dixon book, and I liked Good Ying. And Good Ying's also a Mike Barron book. The art was fine for me. And Dwayne says, I met Wade 3 times. He was always cordial and friendly to me. And if he talks smack, he will get smacked. Wade has anger issues and But yeah, I mean, there's, oh man, it's like, I don't know. I mean, there's consent and there's kink and there's, I mean, only very young people can frame consent as like a checklist of paperwork. Consent a lot of the times is usually an unusually awkward and embarrassing set of permissions, denials, and getting to a common ground. So when you introduce a kink to it, and you have a notorious expectation to satisfy kink, if you're in that, I don't know. I mean, were there any laws broken? I mean, because there are things said in hindsight. I mean, especially if I don't know. This is why I don't want to talk about it, because there is no talking about feminists to feminists with feminists. There is I'd much rather avoid it. I don't want to be online on social media, on YouTube, talking about something that can get me clipped and get me then, and just, I have an opinion, sure, but do I share it? I'm not that foolish. I'm running a show. Well, actually, Pika runs the show. I'm just the talent. But, we know what the deal is. I mean, but what's going to happen to Gaiman? What consequence will befall him? Nothing. Nothing's going to happen. He's in his mid to late 60s. I think he's 64, 65. So he's in his mid 60s. He's got so much left to do and so many more stories to tell. But he just might take the out and slink off into obscurity. And that's that. I mean, was he... It's... People are claiming that Warren Ellis was leveraging favors for work opportunities. So was this about one of those power dynamics of like Harvey Weinstein, like you either do this with me or you don't get a job? No, I don't think that was. It was more. It sounds like more of the dark, of the rock star thing, of groupies, and and having wild, unimagined, like mere mortals don't have sex the way we do. No. We have capital S sex here on the road with the roadies and the groupies, I don't know. That's just, it's a big thing. And then years later to be having retroactive consent. I mean, consent is, anyone can be talked into it years later and being feminists talking to her. Oh, what he did to you, that was GRAPE. Yeah, with your sister, you just, break your NDA. Anyone can just say after the fact, those are serious allegations. You need merit. You needed to report that to the police at the time of the incident, gotten the kit done, have statements taken. You needed to have interviews done. I mean, that there's a whole, all this, I don't know. And that's all I got to say about Neil Gaiman on this. Besides that, nothing's going to happen to him. He's too rich. He has a lot of influence in comics. And the usual suspects aren't saying a damn thing about him. They were all up on Warren Ellis. They were all up on Eddie Pisker. Why aren't they up on Neil? I don't have answers. All I have are more questions. Yeah, no? Yeah, I heard about that. He sent black roses, or something like that. But remember, these are just, a lot of this is the glamour of the stories, and it was just and stories grow over time and become legend. Maybe you should ask Grok. I've been asking Grok everything lately. If somebody makes a claim President Biden says the 28th Amendment is real and it's the law of the land. So the first thing I did was I looked that up. I asked Grok, and Grok said, not really. It's like, it's like a magic 8-ball, it looks a little lazy, And I wonder, is it snowing yet? Yeah, it was because we were supposed to get a squall and a nor'easter, a real winter storm, a couple of inches of snow. But all this morning, it was sunny, and we had good traffic, and I got so much done. I moved over the majority of my stuff. I say I'm 93% moved in. I got like one more trip left. I got my house plants. I am not leaving my plants behind. No, they're a testament to my love of life. They are 17 years old. They were given to me by a sous chef when I had first started working at MIT, and I've been working at MIT 18 years now. Oh fuck! Really? Wow. And she gave me a couple of clippings of a couple of her plants. She's like, here, just put this in soil. You know what I mean? And just, it's going to, it's amazing. I split it into 2 pots. I love my plants. I call it Robert and Bobby Jr. Robert Plant. Hello. Da-da-dun, 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 da-da-dun. Oh, let the sun beat down upon my face. Stars fill my dreams. I'm the traveler of both time and space. To be where I have been. Never dare this done remember. Who's the one to aim? Well, the beaches sit to high in June when you're moving through Kashmir. Okay, don't be scaring off people in our show. Don't do it. Diamond Distributor files for Chapter 11. What is Chapter 11? Hey, here we go. Yeah, what is Chapter 11 bankruptcy? It's like this thing. Chapter 11 bankruptcy is a legal process that allows individuals and businesses to reorganize their debts and continue operating. It is also known as reorganization bankruptcy. How it works: the debtor, Steve Jeppy, who is the 74-year-old owner of Diamond, the former monopoly on distributing comic books to the direct market, the debtor creates a plan to repay their debts. Creditors can vote on the plan. The court confirms the plan if they meet certain requirements and gets the necessary votes. The debtor continues to operate while the plan is being implemented. What happens if the plan isn't confirmed? The case may be dismissed, and the case may be converted to Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which focuses on liquidation. And also, Diamond distributors have also been selling parts of their distribution empire, like the toy part. They closed one of their distribution centers, and that's why we're having some weird, intermittency with comic books, like being late every week. Hello, Carrie. How are you? Yeah, I got a song in my heart. Life's a musical, Oh, boy. Good to see you. Let's see. Ask Chris Samney. I wonder what he thinks. Dan Mora. I think the artists that do the heavy work do the heavy lifting deserves my money. I think that too, sure. But I just if I can read it free, and I don't have to devote space for it. And I'm buying enough. I'm doing my share. I honestly feel like, hey, you know what? The amount of comics I do buy totally balances out the comics that I read pirated. Call me crazy. I have to sing with the state of mainstream entertainment. That's right. I do. I can hit my Robert Plant falsettos. Oh, look at that. I love my lava lamp. I bought that for my mom a few years ago. It came back. So always buy your parents nice shit. Seriously. You never know. It might be yours one day. And we got Han and Carbonite kicking. We've got Valkyries. I got 6 of my Valkyries, 7 actually. There's one hiding behind Cecil's hat, and the Quadlin Rao power suit, that Miria Perina. It's unpainted. I would have to paint a model kit. Speaking of model kits, I have an entire box of Gunpla. I was like packing my Gunpla, and I got it all into one box. All 19. I was like, oh wow, I love Tetris. I love Tetris, and like days like today is just like is rewarding as a Tetris player. You know, packing three rounds in the SUV of like, you know, all my boxes. I got all of my comic books, all of my short boxes. Damn, I know. Oh boy, I'm a little bit wiped out, to be honest with you. I've been at it all day. But I got tomorrow off. Federal holiday, you know. It's National Trump Day. No, it's Martin Luther King Day. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I haven't built any yet, but now I've got space to, like, you know. Yeah, I know, huh? I mean, I'd like to do maybe do some build streams. I'm going to do some gaming streams, but guess what? My entire living room is full of unpacked boxes. And once some of those boxes are open, I'm going to pack them full of my mom's stuff and make sure that one of the women's shelters that do pickups come and pick up all this wonderful clothing for, you know, there'll be a very smartly dressed petite woman out there very soon. So yeah, so Diamond, how is this what does this mean for the direct market? This is my interpretation as the reader, as the fan, as the customer, as the guest. I don't think it's going to matter that much. I think competition usually makes better services better. So, you know, if Diamond is still in the business, I mean, they only have so many smaller presses to choose from. DC does Lunar. Marvel does Penguin Random House. I mean, so does the other, like, Dark Horse, Image, Boom. I mean, all of, like, you know, once the monopoly was broken during COVID, you know, and then I have my friend Yule Carter of Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. His deets are in the details of this show in the description. If you need a back issue, you know, there's a bunch of happy Fantastic Comics customers right here in this very chat right now, and this host. I order from Yule a few times a year, and it always comes nice and in timely and in a proper packaging, and just like I've always been very satisfied with what I buy from Yule. Exactly. What kind of, it's, you know, we should be able to just disagree without being dogpiled. Yeah. But also it's like, that's also internet culture for you too. You know, I do a lot of things like, okay, is this person anonymous? How many followers does this person have? I will look at their, at least the first several tweets in their timeline to give to get a better chance at, I don't argue with people online. I don't. I think Twitter is not the place for debate. A debate has a moderator. A debate has judges. A debate has a clear winner and a loser. And a debate can also have an opportunity as part of the debate where you need to take your opposition's side for like a couple of minutes and do like a crossfire thing. You know what I mean? It's not about your feelings about the issue. It's about how well you argue the merits of your claim and can defend it. You know, that's debate. There is no debate on X. There is no debate out here. It's just people farting. That's right. It's a big fucking echo chamber of smelling your own farts. Oh, yeah. And give them the business, you know, seriously. They did. Yeah. And they came out of it. And they, you know, I don't know which, it must have been chapter 11, because chapter 7 means that's the bad one where you have to liquidate things. Chapter 11 is reorganization and giving yourself the ability to, like, you know, be like, hey, we need to, like, you know, have an opportunity to not go underwater. And this is it. Oh, boy. But yeah, so Diamond, what does this mean for the direct market, though? I think it just means, well, it means that Lunar and Penguin Random House and other distributors can be more competitive and give better deals to the smaller presses that are the ones that were at risk of not being represented. You know, and that also has to do with your local comic book shop knowing that you want these magazines. So make sure you put them on your pull list, and it's up to them to be the B to B to C in that algebra. You know what I mean? The business to customer. You know, I think that what is the biggest threat to your local comic book shop? High rents. Seriously, that's what's going to kill your comic book shop. It's not the woke stories. It's not fucking the cover price. It's high rents that will close these stores. It's the inability to make a profit to you know, it's the rents around Boston are just obnoxious. I fear for my local comic book shops because of that. How are they with the product that they're given? You know, that's part of it. But what's going to, like, you know, it's their rent, their abilities to pay their staff, to pay their you know, their bills. I mean, this is a real, like any business. If you're, you know, your business, they can't like pay their rent, they have to close the doors. That's it. Because the landlord can say, you have to go. What are you going to do? Like, you know, geez. I can agree to disagree. That's what responsible adults are supposed to do. Exactly. Marvel had IP that it could sell, but what does Diamond have? Exactly. Diamond has exclusive territories and distribution centers. And now that they also have like other boutique things, such as like my friend Aaron Sparrow is telling you about their toy distribution. And it's like they usually have a very good, you know, action figures and accessories and play sets and shit. I mean, that Diamond was one of the go-to places for the quality toys. But now Diamond's monopoly has been broken up. It's true. Oh, that's great. My LCS has been running since 1969 and adapts to the current environment. Ah, that was so good. I need another. Bartender! Pikachu! Fetch me another cerveza. No, I don't want a Sapporo. Yeah, Japanese beer that may give me a hangover. Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's from Blue Velvet. And this Frank Booth, played by Dennis Hopper, he's talking to Kyle MacLachlan. You want a beer? Yeah. Do you have a Heineken? Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon! Great line. It's like my favorite moment in Blue Velvet, besides the whole gas mask thing. Fucking Blue Velvet, man. Makes me think like, oh my gosh, I'm so woefully down on David Lynch movies. I don't have enough. I literally just moved today. Like I have like 4 DVD shelves. I wrapped it up in saran wrap, and I was lucky to get them up here in one piece, relatively one piece. 2 of them almost disintegrated because they're just like, they were kind of cheap to begin with. Maybe it's just time to get a new DVD shelf. Maybe that's a sign, you know? Why not? But Diamond, yeah, is Diamond a threat to the health of your local comic book shop? I say no. I don't think it's going to matter. Let's see. Oh, look, funny books. This week's funny books. Yeah, Lost Highway. Fucking Wild at Heart. I fucking love Wild at Heart. You should check out also I'll put it in, I'll drop this in the chat. David Lynch's Industrial Symphony #1 from 1988. This is fucking amazing shit. Julie Cruz is doing most of the singing, and it's just, it starts off with, it's not about Wild at Heart, but it has Laura Dern and Nick Cage, and Nick Cage is breaking up with his girlfriend. It's not Sailor, you know, and or maybe it is. We just don't know. It's a little aloof. Here, I dropped it in the chat. It's the Industrial Symphony #1. I was working at a video store in 1990, 1991, and this was always in the loop of the previews, and I can hear it in my head. And it's just like, and it was this cipher of meat and industry, industrial stuff, and meat, like slaughterhouse looking stuff, but a bit more so. And then you start seeing that in the body of his work, so especially when Dune, like with the Harkonnen and Geeky Prime, like that there's that cow that's just hanging, and then Beast Raban just rips a piece off of it and just chewing it, you know, and just, or the Heart Plug, and yeah, just there's this, and I wonder what his Dune franchise would have been like if he got to continue it. I will answer this question because I don't know what his answer is, but I know what my answer is, that David Lynch's Dune was not meant to have sequels. It has totality, it has closure. Because what happens at the end of David Lynch's Dune, Muad'Dib brings the rain. And what does that do? The rain will kill the sandworms and close the spice cycle, therefore depriving the Empire away, the spice melange. And I just thought that, like, you know, I love that. There is no room, there is no need for Heretics of Dune and Dune Messiah and Children of Dune, God Emperor. It's closed. It's closed circuit. The David Lynch Dune. I admire that movie. I really do. I love it. I was 12 years old when that came out, and they gave us this libretto, this booklet, and it had art in it, and a lot of that art ended up recycled in the television extended cut version that David Lynch took his name off of, and that one is directed by Alan Smithy. It's also the Japanese international version. Oh, geez. One of my best friends had a Laserdisc player in the mid-90s, and we'd sit around, smoke weed, and we'd go to freaking Tower Records and buy shit. We split this, and just because it was overpriced, but it was the Japanese Dune, and that has the Jameis fight. It does, and you can tell which parts were cut because the Fremen's eyes aren't colored in blue because they didn't go to post production with those, you know. And I've never seen The Straight Story. Hey, Mark McGrath, good to see you. Welcome. I hope your Sunday is doing wonderful. I hope you're having a super Sully Sunday stream. But yeah, I mean, so Diamond is in a rough. place. Oh, and with no Neil Gaiman jokes, please. Don't get in the tub, please. Mike Jenkins, hello. Laid up with pneumonia. Oh, no. Mom's Chicken Soup and the Eric O'Sullivan stream is the only thing keeping me going. Well, I'm glad to be part of your convalescence and your entertainment and some escapism for this day. Like, look at what we got. We got the spinner rack. We got 3 offerings from the fall of 1981 with, my favorite Columbia bike ad. And this one right here is one of my all-time favorites. It's the Iron Man stealth armor. And let me tell you, I Hot Toys I'm still on the list if they ever re-release it, because I was so bummed out that I missed it. There is a 1/6 scale Hot Toy Iron Man in the stealth, and it's not any kind of modern looking. No. It's this one. I want it really bad. Hello, Martin. Welcome. How are you? Comics business will always be around. The fan base is there. Just the way money moves will change. Right. And also the marketplace might change. I also think that if there will always be a kind of a boutique kind of store, kind of like we have record stores now, and and new records, new vinyl is always being produced with new music as well, and old music, especially on like color vinyl and what is it, 180 gram. Whoa, Mo, well, you have a good night, sir. And thank you so much, Salam, and have a good evening. And thank you so much for sharing your time with us halfway across the world. Slancha. I know you don't drink, but I do, so I'll have one for you if you don't mind. Yes, Kickstarter keeps things alive. Back Cash Grab 2 from Fund My Comic, and also Kneel Before Doomface by Aaron Sparrow. Kneel Before Doomface. Here we go. Kneel Before Doomface Kickstarter. And whoa, hello. What happened here? Yeah, I believe it's still. I believe you can still back Aaron Sparrow's book, Kneel Before Doomface. Ooh, sorry. And Fund My Comic, you got Cecil's Cash Grab 2, Orange is the New Fat. Here. I've backed both of these books. I love backing comic books. I love taking a chance. I love feeling like a patron to the arts, a real patron to the arts. I really do. And it's really good. Oh, like Kneel Before Doomface is going to be fun. Because Aaron Sparrow is one of my co-panelists at Wes's Thinking Critical's Comics Aficionados. He's also got legit comic creds. He used to write Darkwing Duck for Boom Studios. He wrote an episode of Young Justice. Just like he's got real cred. So it's like when I talk to him, that he treats me as an equal and a peer, and that we get. I mean, I'm in awe of that, because I have this opportunity to speak to an actual creator who's over time become a friend. This is great. We have never met in real life, but you know what? We just might do that in Dallas for Fan Expo 2025. Yeah, I love. Oh yeah, everything's exactly like I spent like $50 on a unsubtitled Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray of Macross Do You Remember Love from 1984, and you can watch the dub for free at any time you want. He is the nicest guy. He really is. Aaron should be working at DC Marvel. Yeah, you darn tootin'. He should be. And let's see. That's the sound of the train on the tracks here in Boston. Let's see, what else do we got today? I have to close some windows or else it'll eat my screen. Let's see, where am I? I'm over here. Well, let's look at some comic books. I didn't read Nightwing. I did read this one. It's called Amazing Spider-Man number 65, Point Deaths. It's a point issue. I didn't mind it. I get into fights with my bros from Comics Aficionados because I'm not, except for Yule. Yule Carter likes this. Yule and I are the only aficionados that are liking Amazing Spider-Man right now. Like, Amazing Spider-Man is just like an excuse for people to gripe right now. Is it? Or is it really that bad? And I just don't see it. I mean, I'm asking, what is it that I'm not seeing? What is it that I should be grousing about? I mean, I'm not dissatisfied with 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. The Zeb Wells run was one thing, you know, and a lot of it, you couldn't knock the art because the art was just, it was coming at you. But this one has got art by Kev Walker. It's written by Derek Landy, and a lot of it has to do with Phil Coulson, which, so this kind of ties into the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Death, as you know it in the Marvel universe. Lady Death, there, you know, Thanos's paramour that he's been crushing on all this time. Well, this is a variant cover. Wow, that's a really beautiful variant cover. It's really nice. What is this? This is the Carlo Pagulayan variant. And then it's the same, but it's the same. All right. Hit the other button. Here we go. Beer. It's so good when it hits your lips. Wow! Holy shit! It's Wakazashi's Tea House! My friend Gray Cope! All the way from the land of the rising sun! Are you feeling good, kids? Are you feeling Genki? I am. I get my chi. I get Kamehameha! And Gray is a huge Amazing Spider-Man fan, and he's laying it down. I asked, and you are answering, and thank you so much. He said it's so depressing, and the story is pointless. And it's weird because Phil Coulson he came from the movie. He came from the Avengers movie. He's a Joss Whedon character. I wonder if Joss Whedon gets pennies on the dollar for every time they use Phil Coulson. Excuse me. Ew. Whew. Don't do that, you gross. And so he's kind of like Harley Quinn in a way, because there was an original Harley Quinn voiced by Arlene Sorkin. And so you have this indelible origin. So who is comic book Phil Coulson supposed to be? I mean, I'm not really knowledgeable. Is he exactly like his movie counterpart? But right now he got killed. And so he is the avatar for the Death Stone. So Lady Death became an Infinity Stone, an Infinity Gem. And that's the Death Stone. So Phil Coulson now has to play, like it's like Meet Joe Black. It's like he's death, and I do like some things about him. I like his design. He's got his classic, smart looking black suit, but at his Windsor knot, there's a death head. at the Windsor Nut, and it looks a lot kind of like it's a little reminiscent of the Punisher. So I'm like, 20 push-ups. At 6 a.m. here, and I want to go back to bed. That's good. I just fucking weighed myself. I don't know if I just moved, like took this morning. I had one of my best high school friends. He's got a huge SUV. I was blessed and grateful that we got to load up his car 3 times, and I brought a shitload of shit over to my mom's condo, and so I stepped on the scale for the first time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so chubby. Yeah, exactly. So what is so look at Harley Quinn now. It's just some kind of weird, some feminists took the ball and ran with it, and they ran away. And wow, Sweden. Awesome. I love it. This is the World Wide Web. This is great. Gray is in Japan. Martin is in Sweden. Mo is in Saudi Arabia. I feel so blessed and grateful. Just wow. This is really brings the world together, and literally at the speed of light. I'm not making that up. Dude, the speed of light is what connects the electricity that powers all this. This is great. United fans. Huzzah! But okay, so back to the funny books. Amazing Spider-Man, 65-point deaths. I don't know. I didn't mind it. I mean, I get it because they're not playing Peter to the Parker luck. What they're playing Peter as is a loser, and nobody likes that. It's just not off. That's not why we're Peter Parker fans. Exactly. AL is like, I was gonna, you had a mission. And I think that Gray is on a southern island, and is that where you are? Or is that where James is? And don't dox yourself either. But yeah, AL was in Japan recently too, but she might not have been where I know she was in Tokyo, but she might not have been where you are, Gray. And but yeah, let's continue with the review of what comic books this week. There's Ultimate Wolverine #1. Let's look at how many variant covers. Wow, we love to look at art here, and let's look at some variant covers. That's what we do. This is the cover A. I read this book. We talked about it on Wes is Thinking Critical. Chris Condon wrote it, and Capuccio does the art. And so it's like Wolverine Logan was a pre-existing character. He had relationships and friends and loved ones, and he knew people, and he had and he always was who he was, but he was weaponized. He was stolen by the Makers Council, and he had his memories taken from him, and then he was completely weaponized and turned into a remote control killing machine, like a drone with no agency and no free will. But by the end of it, he's kind of like snapping out of it and trying to remember who he is. I don't want to spoil what happens in it. Now, at the end of this, there's like a letter from one of the major characters that he kills, or it appears that he's killed this person. I mean, there are 2 major X-Men characters that he's confronted with in this book that he kills. And the way he kills the rest of the people wow. I mean, the art in this was great. The fight scenes in this were really good. Those were the strengths. Its weaknesses was its sentimentality and the story in a way. And it's hard because it's only in issue 1. You know what I mean? And he's supposed to be mysterious. You only think you have an idea of who Wolverine is. This is a whole new ball game. This is the ultimate universe. Yeah, great. Check it out. AL sent me Pikachu. This from the Tokyo Tower. This is great, huh? Yeah, and it's Pikachu's wearing it. That's Pikachu's. That's his. Well, Ultimate Wolverine needs a hug and a Happy Meal. You're right, Dwayne. You got to, but the last page of the story, it's a handwritten letter by one of the characters he's apparently just killed, talking about the friend that he lost, and it was Wolverine. Yeah, and it just sucked me right out of it because the penmanship, the Palmer method, cursive penmanship. I wish the artist would have just drawn it. This is all cut and paste. This was a text generator with a cursive script. And it just sucked me out. It was just like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't know. And it was a kind of a cheesy moment to leave the book off on, yet is like, I don't know, man. Japan is amazing. I'm still amazed to be here. Baby, I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time. Boom, boom, boom. Baby, I'm amazed at the way I love you. Boom, 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 boom. Baby, I'm amazed at the way you help me sing my song. Right me when I'm wrong. Baby, I'm amazed at the way I really need you. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, baby, I'm a man. Baby, I'm a lonely man who's at the bed along something that he doesn't really understand. Oh, baby, I'm a man. Baby, you're the only woman who can ever help me. Baby, won't you help me understand? Yeah, nice little musical interlude so I can catch up on the chat. Oh boy. I hope I'm not pissing the neighbors off. Well, it's only what have I unleashed? Exactly. Happy 420. No, I don't smoke it no more. I'm tired of waking up on the floor. Another Beatle. No, thank you, please. It will only make me sneeze, and it makes it hard to find the door. I know. I'm a 52-year-old man. I can't hit it like I used to. Seriously. I'm out of practice. I'm usually the king of karaoke. Trust me. But one time, I tried to do a Rod Stewart and the Faces song, and I think I pulled my left testicle and trying to hit one of those high notes, and that wasn't very fun. Live from our Boston studios, Pikachu. Okay, where are we going with that? Oh, we're going to look at some art. This is because it's Wolverine #1. This is the 1 in 100 Lee Bermejo Virgin variant. Now, is that Hugh Jackman to you? Or is that just classic Logan? Ooh, Steve Scroce variant. Look at that. That's a 1 in 25 variant. I would have got that. Look, his color combination. That's Deadpool. I just saw that because I can see Deadpool in the mask right now. I just figured that out because that's what Deadpool and Wolverine were for. Was like, Martin, thank you so much for coming by. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, the Super Sully Sunday stream. I got you. I get some gummies. These are really good. This is the Wanna Quick 101 margarita. They come on quick and they leave you quick, but it gives you a head high, not a body high. So it's like smoking a bowl. I fucking love it. I found a gummy and it doesn't get me fucking glued to the seat either, and I don't get panic. Well, if I eat 3 at once, I will. Pikachu! The panic! The fear! I know. What a silly man. Mm-hmm. Oh. Everyone out there, let me get this link after I open this beer. You should subscribe to Wakazashi's Tea House. Gray makes comic book content. He's one of us. And if you're unaware of his wonderful channel, I am a member of his channel. I'm not a member of many people's channels, but I am of Gray's channel. I am of Yule Carter's Fantastic Comics. Here, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Do me a favor, go by and click on the link and become and subscribe to Wakazashi's Tea House. As a member of his channel, I get access to these wonderful videos him and Jim Werner of Weird Science Comics do every week. They've been doing a different Grant Morrison comic book every week for about 2 years now. I'm a huge Grant Morrison fan. And Jim is actually thawing his icy cold, bitter heart to Grant Morrison. And he's like, I talk to him, Jim and I talk every week actually about comic books. And Jim is reading Animal Man by Grant Morrison with Gray. And they're coming up to a part where he hasn't read before. I asked him a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I was like, I don't want to spoil anything for you. How far up have you read? And he's like, I've only read up to issue 18 or so. And I was like, dude, what you're coming into right now is probably one of my favorites. It's great. It's meta. It breaks the fourth wall. It also addresses comic book limbo, where like the comic book characters that you've forgotten about reside until someone remembers them again. Yeah, and they're also doing the Incredibles. The Invisibles rather. Dude, I just packed up my books, and I have like all 7 volumes of the Invisibles, and there are trade paperbacks from Vertigo. And I was like, they're in a box right over there now. I'm like, those live on my regular bookshelf. Yeah, they're not in a long box. They're not in a spinner rack. The Invisibles live on our real bookshelf. It's true, and it's near the end of the run, and it's so good, and it's just gonna get. But I was like, oh, it's just gonna get really, really dark. Oh gosh, yeah. Those floppies, those Brian Bolin covers. Oh gosh, so good. And after that too, when Rick Veit took over, I mean, shit. I mean that was just like that was great comics. 2 Funnybooks. Huzzah! 2, 3. We're almost at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are. Well, 123 minutes and at 45 seconds. Yes, I my OCD really enjoyed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. All right. Time mark. Timestamp that many moons ago. Oh boy. But yeah, back to Wolverine. Where is this? My StreamYards. This Steve Scroce art is amazing. He did Collaborant. Oh, look at that. He's fighting Omega Red and Colossus. There's blood everywhere. It's coming from Wolverine. And this is a great cover. I would buy this, but I'm not buying this. Oh, look at that damage on him, too. This is a 1 in 50 Gabriel Dell'Otto. It's really nice. But remember, this is in issue 1. I like these ones. Alexandro Capuccio, see the star. So he's like a Winter Soldier variant in this alternate universe. He's thought out and sent on kill missions. But I like I like these 1 in 25 design variants. And these are wow, they're already showing second printings. And he jumps out of the plane like Steve Rogers does in Captain America. He's got no parachute. It's blank. You see that second printing blank? KRS Comics Ivan Tao variant. It's pretty cool. You see how easily that star can turn into an X. Miko Swoyan over is standing on a pile of dead ninjas. Gleb Melnikov variant. I love Gleb stuff. Bye, AL. Have a good night. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so much for your gift from the Tokyo Tower. I'm so psyched. And I have MLK Day off tomorrow. It was a 7.5 for you. Yeah, I was thinking like, that sounds about right. Yeah, I'd give it a 7. You know, it's just that the letter at the last page, it sucked me out of it. It's just the shitty fucking fake cursive. I just, why? Why does something like that have the ability to take the piss out of it for me? I mean, aren't I stronger than this? I love it! Look at Jose Maria Casanova's connecting variant with the maker. Look at that look on his face, too. Fucking love that. And remember, in the original Ultimate Universe, the maker gave himself a symbiote, an artificial symbiote. And so what is going on in Ultimate Spider-Man? Is his suit a version of that artificial symbiote? I don't know. I like the design on this. This is the I see the trade dress top to it. I like that. Approved by the SNCC Code Authority. That's pretty cool. Oh, Lionel Francis Yu. Wow. It's the Omega Red variant. That's really sweet. Some really great detail too for Lionel. I mean, this is probably this. I feel like this is a departure from his usual style. But check out all those hatchings and cross hatchings, especially on his face. I mean, I love the level of attention here. The detail here is superior. I'm loving it. Matane, are you leaving too, or is that just was that for AL? Don't he's Gray's got to get to work. He's a teacher. I don't want to dox you. Sorry. Tyler Kirkham variant. That's all right. You know, it's very superhero-y. It's very, you know, Image Comics 90s look. I mean, because it's exaggerated. I mean, it's okay. And that's it. For art appreciation moment, Miles Morales Spider-Man number 29. 2 variant covers. This month we've been having this kind of Fantastic Four variant cover thing going on. I actually have one. We're going to get to that when we look at some comic books. This is a Sarah Pichelli variant cover with Venom, who's not in this book and not in this story. And actually, Miles ain't even wearing his usual costume. He's wearing a Vibrantium variant given to him by T'Challa, the former king of Wakanda. And you can see it right here, in like this battle scene between, you know, T'Challa and Miles Morales Spider-Man. It was okay. It's passable. I mean, I'm a big fan of being a fan of Miles Morales Spider-Man because it works as a Marvel book. I mean, it's competent. It's a competent monthly. It keeps me interested. I mean, it's fun. The cartoony art really helps that. Immortal Thor 19 by Al Ewing. Now, Al Ewing, he can write sometimes, okay? And this is a great example of it because I've really liked Immortal Thor. I really like Jed McKay's Doctor Strange. I'm really liking Philip Kennedy Johnson's Incredible Hulk. And those are like 3 Marvel standbys, you know? And I've been overall, this is an impressive book. In here, we got some variant covers. Here's that Thing variant cover. Wow, is that looks like Todd Knock. Who is that? No, it's not Todd Knock. Lucas Wernick variant cover with Angela. Speaking of Neil Gaiman, and this is Gerardo Sandoval. Wow. Excuse me. Jen Baza. Look at that ass. Wow. Hella. That's a hella ass. Oh, shit. I'm going to burn in hell. I'm such a pig. Oh, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Now, Dwayne, we can't have that. We can't have happily married people. So it's a bad example for all the feminists who need to, find their agency. Stuff like that, shit. What else do we have? Batman and Robin Year 1, number 4. People love this book. Chris Samney does great art. Put a pin in these two, New Gods and Incredible Hulk. We'll come back to that. Exceptional X-Men number 5 by Eve Ewing. Art by Carmen Canero. Yeah. It's not the worst issue out of all of them. It was a pretty competent issue. I liked the stuff about Kitty going to Japan. And she was playing the bride out of Kill Bill. She needs a Hattori Hanzo sword. No, she needs to be outfitted with some Oga and stuff. And because remember, Kitty's a really dump truck. Is that a book? Did I miss something? I feel. And what do you mean Sully won't read it? Sully won't read what? Dump truck? What's dump truck? I think I missed something. Let me know. The booty. That's a dumper. Yeah. So this issue kind of, because then you have like switching A and B story from Kitty's story to this person's story, like Melee. And I mean, just whatever. But it's, I mean, I call it the excretional X-Men. Yeah. Storm number 4. The art in this book is fucking amazing. Lucas Wernick does the art. Yeah. Can I tell you what's going on in the story? I don't know. But this is a variant cover. It's an homage to a 1981 issue of Uncanny X-Men. I was just looking at it today on the Spinner Racks Twitter feed. What else do we got this week? Laura Kinney Wolverine number 2, written by Erica Schultz, art by Giada Belviso, color by Rachel Rosenberg. Why isn't this edited by a woman? What's going on here? Oh, why are you punching down on people? It says Laura Kinney duplicate? What does that mean? Sometimes you can catch spoilers by reading League of Comic Geeks. You can, you really can. It wasn't that bad. It was okay. It was like a by the numbers procedural. Rogue the Savage Land #1. Wow, stop the press. What is that? I swear, I was looking for this. I was going to buy it because look at this cover. This is art by Kari Andrews. I was blessed and grateful to do a live stream with Kari Andrews on Wes's Thinking Criticals, Comics Aficionados. He just finished up Spider-Man Reign 2, which ended up being really fun. I mean, every issue after one made up for one, because one is just like, yeah, okay, it got better and better for every issue. Look at this fucking art, man. I was gonna buy it just for this cover. And by the time I got to my comic book shop on new release day at 3:30 p.m., they opened up at 11. They were all out of the A cover. They had 2 variant covers left. A 1 in 50 for $30 and a 1 in 25 for $20. And I liked the story, but not. I was gonna buy it for the Kari Andrews cover. And wow, they were sold out. That's sick. It probably means they only bought 3 copies. What else did we read this week? Avengers Assemble #5. All right, this book ain't that bad. And this is written by Steve Fox. No, Steve Orlando. Yeah, it's written by Steve Orlando. The penciler is Jose Luis Suarez Pinto, and the inker is Oren Jr. The art in this is really fucking good. This is actually filled with fucking wall-to-wall fight scenes. It's like, I don't know what's going on, how canonical it is. Who cares? It's actually just a really decent Avengers story. Would you like a random suggestion? Especially, I like it when Steve Orlando can just do the job. There's like nothing really kind of to like agenda or message or pushing, special marginalized communities in this. It's just a fucking decent Avengers story. And I appreciate that. I overall, I like this issue. I like the past couple of issues too. What else did we? Spirits of Vengeance #5. The art in this was fucking great. The coloring was a little garish. I mean, if you were a fan of Ghost Rider of any age, they're in here. And this could be the book for you. I was a Ghost Rider fan in the Bronze Age for Johnny Blaze as a kid. And look at this. This is Greg Land, the famous Greg Land, doing his Frank Miller modern best. But this is Herbie doing this. This is the Fantastic Four variant. That's the trend this month, and Herbie's got some snick going on. Ain't that cool? But Spirit of Vengeance, yeah, #5. I really didn't. We were making fun of it at issue 1 because, Xanathos was in a wheelchair and that was his wheels. Because there's always some kind of wheeled thing. There's always some kind of vehicle with a ghost rider. It could be a horse. What else was it? Oh my God. I don't even want to bring this up. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man #2. This is the official kind of prequel to the upcoming, cartoon. Just don't waste your time on this. What if Galactus transformed Moon Knight? So there's a what if series going on. Like, what if Galactus transformed this one or that one? My favorite so far was what if Galactus transformed Gambit. That was pretty good. This one, not so much. Star Wars, The Battle of Jakku, Last Stand #3. So this is 11 of 12. So there are 3 4-issue minis, all adding up to one dumb story. I do too. I love the thought of boobies in the morning. Boobies in the morning make me happy. I really appreciate their roundness, their softness. The mammalian protuberance of the boobies themselves. Please think of the boobies. I like boobies. You should like boobies too. Alien Paradiso #2. Okay, it's written by Steve Fox. This is just, it's like it's like Las Vegas in space. It's like this little curated paradise planet. And of course, the Weyland-Yutani company wants to introduce some xenomorphs to the mix. And there's some plucky mercenary types that are just involved in the hijinks. But the thing that gets me on this one is that we can see from the xenomorphs' point of view, not just the camera, but we're seeing through its senses. And I mean that it's not just its eyes, because they don't have quite, their vision seems to be also encompasses their sense of smell. And you can get that through how the artist is laying down, the look. But it's a bit of a ripoff of Predator. And the Predators, how they see in infrared. Well, this kind of apparently like, I guess then the xenomorph has to see in ultraviolet and have some kind of smell-o-vision, and it just, I don't think I've ever seen an alien comic in fucking 40 years almost. It would be 85. Dark Horse started doing aliens comics in 87, 88. So we're getting there. I mean, so in 38 years of aliens comics of dealing with xenomorphs, I don't recall ever seeing the depiction of how the xenomorph views its surroundings and tracks its prey. Yeah, it's better than the Declan Shalvey stuff. I'll give it that much. How is that? You want some positivity? You want some spirit? You want some positivity? Some pluck? What else? Hey everyone, it's Neil Gaiman's and Sazi Boys. What else do we have out here this week? Hush facsimilies. Wow. Because Hush 2 is coming out any second now. I'm not really enthused for it. Fuck Ultimate X-Men. And that I think I read the first issue and it was really interesting. And the art was really good. And the whole premise of, because it reminded me of Sex Criminals by Chip Zdarsky. You remember that? Where they stop time and then they can make with the capers and crime. Yeah, that is some quality. I read the shit out of that. That was on the illustrated versions of Alien, Outland, and Steven Spielberg's 1941 were staples of mine. My favorites, at my local Boston Public Library, satellite. There was a small version of the public the big library was on West Broadway up near City Point in South Boston. Now this one was a small satellite Boston Public Library that was in the projects that were next to my projects. So just being in that projects, the other projects, the old colony projects, I was from Old Harbor. Being in the old colony projects, man, I could have gotten fucking bundled or something. You're from over there across the street. Whack. Shit like that happens. But I was a kid. But yeah, I used to read the shit out of that, out of the Simonsons' Alien, Steranko did Outland, and I forget who did Spielberg's 1941, but it was like over the top, like gruesome rival. You saw boobies. I was like, yeah, boobies. RoboCop versus Terminator. Yeah, that old Dark Horse stuff. Love that stuff because Dark Horse had all that stuff. Dark Horse did the original Aliens versus Predator. I mean, Dark Horse had the original Aliens. Their black and white Aliens books just is so creepy. They're so good. And they're bundled in. Marvel got an omnibus. They reprinted it recently in the omnibus. And that thing goes for about $110, $120. And I'm like, that's wicked. That's too much for me, man. That's too rich for my blood. And let's see, what else did I see? What else did I? Laura Kinney Wolverine. All right, I read that. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Gosh. Oh, I did review them. I did review them all, except for the ones that might be possibly in my bag of funny books that I got from my local comic book shop. What's in the bag? What did I buy at my local comic book shop this week? I'll show you. They're all hits. They're all really good. G.I. Joe #3 by Joshua Williamson and art by Tom Riley. It's a lot of just an A and B story where lots of fights, lots of decent cartoony art. And Clutch is undercover unintentionally with Cobra. He had the opportunity, and yes, it was Bissett and Veitch. Yes, and dude, that stuff that was awesome. I would love to get copies of all three of those. Yes. This is a variant cover. This is you can tell a variant cover by its UPC barcode. This is the third cover. So this is the C cover. Can you see that? Those 5 digits at the end. 003, 3, 1. So 003, that means it's issue 3. Issue 3, see? 3, the fourth digit, that number 3, means that this is the third cover. That means it's the C cover. And that 5th digit, the 1, means it's the first printing. Yeah, there's a system to this. A code, one could say. But yeah, and this is about oh no, what's going on? It's the Crimson. That's a Crimson Guard. That's a CG. CG, Crimson Guard. Get it? We're not talking about any kind of outlaw comic book publishers, are we? No. Introduce the Crimson Twins. Oh, I just spoiled it for you. Sorry. Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum, #1. This could have made maybe as a better 0 issue. Maybe 0 issues are done. I just like 0 issues because I like them. And, because they're meant to be kind of special. They're meant to jump off the shelf and get your attention. This was really good. Art by V. Ken Marion. So this is my first book, really seeing him unleash. The art in this is really good. The colors are great. He's got every Earthbound Lantern and a lot from the core. We've got a couple of the new Guardians of Oa. We've got the Sorrow, who is a fractured lantern. And it's great because, I love this. Just, Nate, because his name was Nathan. It was Carol Ferris's fiance who she left at the altar to go save Hal. And then Hal and Carol reunite, and Nathan became the Sorrow. He's an emo. He's full of pain. He wants to share it with you, that pain. I love it. Nate, this isn't you. He can help you. show you how to control this. I mean, like, but it's like, motherfucker, you stole my fucking girlfriend. You stole my fiance. I was about to marry that girl. You know how rich she is, fucker? Of course you do, you poor bastard. Yes, nice art in this one. And this is great. It's a bonus issue of Green Lantern, and it's starting off the new cycle and the new story. Written by Jeremy Adams. I buy anything with his name on it. This is the Incredible Hulk number 21. And so we were talking about these Fantastic Four variant covers. Guess what? I picked up a variant cover just because I could, for no other reason. There's none. It's just because I wanted it. This is art by Todd Knock, and it's all right, man. I like it. Which kind of mimics Hulk number 1, you know? But it's the Fantastic Four tribute issue cover thing. Yeah, it's all good. Great story. Great art by Danny Earls, who has really grown on me. I mean, I love it when Nick Klein does the art because he's the ace pitcher of this rotation. But in any rotation, you need to have a competent backup pitcher and maybe some relief too, and a closer. Danny Earls has really become the good second pitcher of this team. I've been tuned in to every issue, the tie-ins, the blood on, and it's rewarding. I really look forward to this, and we got to talk about on Wes's Thinking Critical yesterday about favorite Hulk story, and I chose this because I was never been a Hulk fan. I've never been like a Hulk reader. I've never been a Hulk buyer. You know, I go back to the Bronze Age. I can tell you that Sal Buscema's Hulk is my kind of Hulk. And then in high school, someone named Dale Keown started drawing Hulk. I never bought it, though. Okay? I wasn't a Hulk reader. I missed all that Peter David shit. I missed, fuck you, Greg Pak, but I missed all that, like, you know, World War Hulk stuff, which I also hear like, hey, that's what has more to do with the editorial vision. Thank you. It actually reads tomato in Japanese. I did that on purpose. That's a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional object. It's my one and only play with a canvas and acrylic. My ex-girlfriend was on holiday to London, and so I was home for a week alone. And so you know, she had all these art supplies around. So that's my self-portrait. I'm in the can. I am in the can. It says, instead of saying Campbell's condensed, it says Sully's repressed. And, you know, emo, you know, like our friend the Sorrow. And dude, you're a longtime fan. Dude, did you hear about Keown? He sold the cover art, the original art to one of his covers for about $150,000. Dude. Or it might be that Dale sold it years ago and it just resold for, I'm not sure. If you know the ins and outs of that story, that would be great. But yeah, I wrote that in Japanese. I saw some Japanese Campbell soup cans and decided to write it because I love manga. I love anime. I love Japanese stuff. I could be like you and James, an angry Canadian, living out in Japan, you know, and because I love the culture. I have nothing else on my iPod on my phone right now for books. You know what I'm reading? Hagakure. You know, it means hidden in the leaves or hidden leaves. It's a book about the samurai. I mean, this is a great book. I've read this countless times. It's great because it's pretty quick too. It's a thin book, and you know, just at 1.5 speed, which is how I usually read audiobooks. You know, this thing's like less than 4 hours long, so that's like nothing. And I love it, dude. I just pulled all of my freaking DVDs and Blu-rays. I got so many samurai movies. I love Japan. I love Japanese women too. My pick of the week is New Gods 2 of 12. We'll see. Hey, did Joe Casey got promised 12 issues of Kneel Before Zod at DC Comics. What do we get, 7? So watch out for that. It all depends on how it sells. This is a great story. Because it's like when you read a Ram V book, I mean, I'm about to hear it from Dwayne, who calls him Ram Z as in Ram. Because he takes too long to make the story. I mean, I like that. I want to go back and read a Swamp Thing. I want to check it out. I hear it's got the goods. Oh, really? I met Keown in Toronto. He used to go to my uncle's junkyard in Peace River, Alberta. Really? I love Dale. He's a nice guy. Oh, he can be. If he's wasted, he could be mean to you. But this is a good book. The first 4 pages have a different artist because it's a dream sequence. But the rest of it's done by Evan Cagle. And I gotta say, but speaking of letters, it's like sometimes you get lost in all of these words and all this narrative stuff. And like for me, it's like it's show don't tell. Only the first 4 pages. The first 4 pages were drawn by, I'll tell you in a sec. Jesse Lonergan, guest artist and colorist, pages 1 through 4, and Evan Cagle did the rest. And it was just that for a dream sequence. But this is like Grant Morrison level of like you gotta pay attention to the narrative stuff because it's like it's there. There's something to it as well. I mean, Lansing and Kelly failed miserably. Dennis Camp fails miserably. Trying to recreate Warren Ellis, trying to recreate Grant Morrison. Ram V, on the other hand, Chip Zdarsky fails miserably trying to recreate Frank Miller and Warren Ellis and Grant Morrison on Batman. New Gods, though, this thing pulls from mythology, like Greek mythology and Indian mythology. I'm really into Indian mythology. I know my Hindu mythology pretty well. The Bhagavad Gita and the gods and the warriors involved with that. The thing is, there's been a new source-born god born on Earth. Orion has orders from Izawa Highfather to go and kill the new god. It can't be. It's going to upset the balance of the powers or something like that. And so in issue 1 is this really touching moment between brothers, between Scott Free, Mr. Miracle, and Orion, where Orion tells Scott everything that's about to happen, what he's going through, and what he's got his mission. He's like, Scott, you're Mr. Miracle. You're the only person that can save him. I'm giving you a head start. And so, and this is like you got Scott writing a letter to Barda. My love, our baby and you, and I must go and save the child, and then boom, Big Barda happens. Now, it's Big Barda. She is Big Barda for a reason. And I thought her thighs were a little too thick. But she's a big girl. She is. But Big Barda is not supposed to be body positive. I mean, no. But she's tall. And she's muscular. And she has a proportional musculature to her height. She's got to be like 6'8" or something like that. But she's not body positive as we know it in our modern newspeak. Fucking A, man. I was thinking about that yesterday, especially. Sully, did you ever read Multiversity by Morrison? Got them all on floppy. Love that series, man. She is that big and big, and because that's written by women, edited by women, and that is body positivity. That's Barda being used as propaganda, as feminist propaganda. But original Kirby Barda, she's a little bit, she's drawn a lot better and a lot more in proportion. She's just tall. She's big. She's big Barda. But yeah, I love Multiversity because we were talking about Jim Lee and like, what was the last thing that Jim Lee drew? Like a floppy, like a series, and how long can he stick on that? And they were saying that like the Suicide Squad Rebirth series, and he was only able to draw 3 issues before he had to bail. And I keep coming, and I was like, oh, really? Because I thought his last issue that he drew was Multiversity, the one about the Ubermensch and in the Nazi Earth 22. Was that it? He drew that entire issue, and that was just amazing. With Overman, the Superman that fell to Earth in Germany and not in Kansas, Smallville, and then was weaponized by the Nazis. And his, and then he had that evil league, like that Flash with, instead of having a lightning bolt, he's got the what we know as the SS. You know what I mean? It's the same sigil. It's a power sigil. Wow. But yeah, that's all the funny books that we got this week. And let's wrap it up. You have no idea how tired I am. But I got a lot done. I got most of my shit over. I get all of my comic books, and one of my best friends from high school helped me. And he lugged that shit up the stairs. Not many stairs, but we know what? We got our steps in today. We did, both of us, 2 50-year-old men, and it was just, I'm so blessed and grateful for my family, my friends, my faith, my freedom, my health, my union job, a good night's sleep, and a solid breakfast. And I'm so grateful that I have tomorrow off, that I can sleep off a little bit of this beer that I've earned. Most of my stuff is here. Now I got to unpack and I got to put up my, my Gundams eventually. But I have Star Trek Eagle Moss. All these like little models. I want to populate this thing behind us. I want to find room for I want to find room for my Captain America 1/6 scale. And this is the one from Avengers Endgame, so he's got Mjolnir. Sully, if you get free sometimes, 9 p.m. Central, I should say you should check out. I do sometimes a 1/6 scale figure unboxings, like Hawk Toys. I'll let you know, but I need to be sure. I never do live streams on work nights, on weeknights. I'm in bed early. I get up between 3:30 and 4 a.m. So I'm asleep by 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern. And every time I do, it happens every time I agree to do a live stream on a work night to stay up just a little late. But once the live stream's done, I am so wired from being part of a dynamic conversation, from interacting with the chat, and from, being on TV, and having someone invite me like to be on their show, which is always an honor. Oh, cool. Well, thank you. I mean, just like, yeah, I would be a guest too. You can invite me on someday too. Because I have dreams of 1/6 scales. I only have 2, this Captain America and the Han Solo and Carbonite. But like I was saying, that Hot Toys had this Iron Man in the 1/6 scale. This Iron Man, I mean, that's just great. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, just I mean, like, so, but I pick my spots on when I can do a show. So it's like weekends for me are best. That, you know, it's great that like being on Wes's Thinking Critical Comics Aficionados works, because it's like, dude, I had packing to do, but guess what? I got on the show. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to juggle this because I can. And I got it done, and I'm so happy. And well, maybe you need your own channel, Lane. Do you have a channel? You have an account. You know, do you make content? But I'm going to wrap it up. We got on it for 2 hours, and that's a good enough show for us, man. You can hear my voice is starting to go a bit too, huh? And yeah, if you have a channel, drop it in the link, and I can re-put it so it actually makes a link. Alrighty, but yeah, I'm gonna check out. Thank you so very much for tuning in to the Super Sully Sunday stream. We were talking about comic books. We talked a little bit about Neil Gaiman. He's gonna get away with it if there's something to get away with. I mean, this is gonna just go away. Seriously, I mean, he's just gonna ride off into the sunset. Diamond Comics distributors, I mean, it's not going to break the industry, and it's not going to harm your local comic book shop either. I don't feel that. The only threat to your local comic book shop, besides us not going and spending our hard work money there, would be high rent. All right. And I think that the greatest threat to our local comic book shops is high rent. And so let's help their success and help them stick around by going there. Spend your money there and buy your supplies, your bags, your boards, and your boxes. And I'm looking forward to seeing you later. And yeah, I'm done. I've had a big day. You have a great day. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.